Stolo means the river in our language. So Stolo people means we're the river people. At one time, all of our resources, our main resource of the salmon, is from the river. Our elders say when you know who you are and where you come from, you become more balanced. You become more at peace with yourself and your role and your responsibility in your family, in your community. And we're told that everybody has a place. Everybody has a job, a role, a responsibility in the family. And to lose somebody before it's their time because of drinking and driving really takes away from the family.
Basically what it was a group of 6 youths, and some of them were related to each other. And the driver misjudged a very swervy road and with just coming out of one of our First Nation communities. And poor judgment and lack of driving skills veered off the road and hit a tree and engulfed the vehicle and the kids in the vehicle. And First Nation community people came out, non-First Nation, the RCMP, the fire department, everybody worked together to try to help those kids. And unfortunately, they all passed away.
There's a lot of denial, blame, anger, feeling sorry for yourself. Why are you left? It's really emotional, the uncontrolled grief or crying, and how do you console someone?
What happens when we feel grief is we want to blame something. We want to put the blame on something, because how do you deal with the grief unless there's something that you can grasp onto, that you can try to understand, that you can say, this is why it happened, and take your grief out on that. But it doesn't work that way. Grief is on the inside.
I've dreamt of a massive tornado. My mom and dad had owned a store, and they were at the store, and we saw this big tornado coming, and it just seemed to go after my sister and picked her up and flew her around and dropped her on the ground. And it was one of those dreams that you just don't forget. So it scared me, and I phoned her, and she says, Laura, it's just a dream. Don't worry about it. I'll be okay. And that was the last time I talked to her. I got a phone call about 5:30 in the morning. They said that Cheryl had died in a car accident. They got hit from behind at a very high speed. The impact of that vehicle to her vehicle made her vehicle roll 5 times. I do know that he was drinking. He was intoxicated.
This number 1A highway that runs through Morley was the old main highway that went through to Canmore and bound. And it's a very narrow highway, so there's been a lot of people from the Stoney Nation that have been killed on this highway because of drinking and driving. We believe that when somebody dies while impaired, that their spirit leaves their body and it stays wandering around because it doesn't know where to go. Like this guy walking, taking his life into his own hands. Yeah, while we were driving from Canmore to Cochrane one day to visit a friend, my daughter, she's 6 years old, was sitting with us, and she just slowly started getting sadder and sadder. And in First Nations, people believe that young people, because their hearts are so pure, that they sometimes feel, if their spirits around, they'll see them or feel them or hear them. So we started to think that maybe she was feeling all the life lost on this highway. And we're thinking it would be nice if the community or somebody would do a blessing of this highway, to send all those spirits that are here still on their journey.
tazakus ene that's grieving. We grieve for 1 year and we cut our hair when we lose a loved one. Some of us grieve for a longer period, especially somebody that's really close to you. Like I lost my son. It took me a long time to grieve. To me, my whole life shattered. I just isolated myself and I just stayed in my home. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I felt I had nothing to live for.
I grew up not drinking. My dad was, had a real drinking problem. Like every time my dad would come home drinking, my mom would take us out camping, and she wouldn't want us to be around my dad like that. And I just finished breaking up with my girlfriend, and we were just trying to be violent, and it got the best of me that night. Like I didn't care. Then we started drinking, and I started feeling a little more drunk, and I started drinking more with my brothers and my brother Melvin. He just got a car, and it wasn't even insured. It was just like, that's exactly how that vehicle looked when he was coming in and hit me. Exact same speed almost. And just went bam right there. They just walked away with bruises and scratches. Basically, I took the fall, for all our partying. That was my first thing. I said to my dad, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I couldn't do nothing when I was laying there, and my dad was just, he was like rubbing my head and stuff, and he was, I could feel his tears hitting my face and stuff.